Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. This is our first virtual transitioning to high school meeting. Generally, in a year that is not COVID, we do offer an opportunity for students and parents to come to the high school campus and get a little bit familiar with that. And unfortunately, with COVID, we were unable to do that this year. But I am here with Mrs. McNew, one of our high school counselors. I'm Katie Dietzman, high school principal. And really, we just want to thank you for joining us tonight. We want to make sure that your students feel comfortable in selecting their courses. High school is a big jump from junior high, so we are here to answer questions, try to ease some of your fears as your students go from junior high to high school. So at this point, we will turn this over to Mrs. McNew, and she's going to talk about course selections, endorsements, all things high school. Some of the words you probably will not ever have heard before, but we do definitely welcome your questions, if you will. First of all, we do have some door prizes at the end of the evening. So if you will, put your student's name in the comments section, and we will be writing down those names, and we will be drawing for 5 different door prizes at the end of the meeting. You do need to be present to win, and there are some good things. And other than that, we ask that as things are mentioned that maybe you do have an additional question about, please go ahead and type those in the comments section, and we will answer as many as possible. Again, thank you for joining us, and Ms. McNew, it's all you.
Hey, it's so good to see y'all this evening, and thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. The whole purpose of this meeting tonight, and this is a night that I look forward to every year, is to introduce those of you coming to high school and learn a little bit about the basics and what is required. Since this is a Facebook Live meeting tonight, I'm really excited about that because this is also a really great review for those of you who maybe are already in high school and just need to talk about the endorsements or want to review what the endorsement options are and the graduation requirements. So it's a really good opportunity for everybody. So our goals tonight, there's a few things. First of all, we're going to share some information on those graduation requirements for the class of 2025, which sounds crazy. You'll be joining us next fall. We're super excited about that. Second of all, we're going to talk about the different options. In many years ago, there was kind of one graduation track, and now with endorsements and different opportunities, there's really various options, and graduation plans can be fairly individualized for students, and that's pretty exciting as well. Last but definitely not least, share some important dates and some upcoming activities that y'all need to be a part of and know about to get ready to come to high school next year. First of all, I'm going to talk about a few of the basic graduation requirements and just the basics of high school that may be a little bit different than the years past that you've seen. Unlike kindergarten through 8th grade, once you're in high school, there's a checklist, and I'm going to talk more about this checklist in a minute, of the courses that you have to have while you're in high school. So unlike elementary or junior high, sometimes you may fail a history class but pass all the rest of your classes, and you're still promoted to the next grade without having to go back and look at that class again. Well, high school is very different. You have to pass that course and earn your credit in order to check it off the checklist and be able to move off to the next grade level. All of our kiddos come in, most of them with 0 credits. Some may have 1 for a junior high Algebra 1 class. But in order to be promoted in high school, it's not necessarily just the next year you're automatically in the next grade. You do have to have 7 credits to be considered a sophomore, 14 credits to be considered a junior, and 21 credits to be considered a senior on campus. And once again, like I said, it's a checklist, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first of all, you heard me mention what is a credit. And basically, a credit is awarded when all the course requirements have been met for a course and indicates that you've completed that course, and we could check it off of your graduation plan. So we have the majority of our classes are year-long classes where you have the opportunity to earn 1 full credit. English classes, math classes, our science classes are 1 full year, and you have the opportunity to earn 1 full credit in that area. Some of our other classes are 1 semester classes, maybe a health, a speech, a psychology, a sociology, and you would earn half of a credit for being in there half of the year for a 1 semester. 2 things have to be in place in order to earn a credit at the high school. First of all, you have to score 70% in those classes. You have to earn a 70 in order to pass that class. Second of all, attendance is very, very important at the high school. The state tells us that you must attend 90% of school days to earn credit. Unfortunately, every year I have a few students that aren't able to get to school like they need to be. They're very bright students. They may have a B or an A for the semester, but because they were not in attendance 90% of the time, we have to deny credit for those classes, and unfortunately those kiddos have to sit through those classes again. And so really be mindful of your attendance as you come to the high school, and make sure that you're not one of those students that has to sit through those classes again because credit was denied. And once again, this is not a Robinson ISD policy. This is a state policy that we have to abide by. Next, we have lots of opportunities for advanced academics at the high school. We offer honors classes, advanced placement classes, and dual credit classes in several subject areas. For those kiddos who are interested in advanced academics and feel like that might be a fit for you, our general rule is we feel like you should have an 85 or higher in your on-level coursework. So if you're in a regular English class now and you're thinking maybe about doing honors English next year, make sure that you have a good solid 85 or higher in order to consider that, to make sure to help ensure your success in that class. The benefits of some of those advanced academics, it's additional preparation for college. It is a little bit more rigorous. It is a little bit more fast-paced to help prepare you for post-secondary success. There is an opportunity to improve your class ranking. Our honors classes, our AP classes, and our dual credit classes are weighted when we figure our class rank. And so if you go into those classes and you do well, that could be an opportunity for you to improve your class rank. And last but not least, with our AP classes, those are advanced placement classes, and the dual credit classes, there is an opportunity to possibly earn some college credits and have some college credits under your belt before you graduate from high school. So who should take these advanced classes? I already indicated that a good solid 85 in an on-level core class is a good target area to start with, but there's some general characteristics for our advanced kiddos that just are important to consider. They need to be self-motivated. A lot of your advanced classes, you delve into things more independently, and there is some independent exploration and some peer work in that. So make sure that you're self-motivated if that's something you want to consider. You need to be hardworking. You can't be afraid to work a little bit. A lot of our honors classes, you may put in 2 or 3 hours a week more so than the on-level class to be prepared for that rigorous. When we get into our AP or dual credit classes, we're definitely looking at more time than that, possibly 5 to 7 hours a week, more so than you would in an on-level class. So make sure that you're willing to work hard and accommodate that. Time management. I think time management is one of the most important things when kiddos come to high school from junior high. I also think that it's one of the most difficult for kiddos. For instance, if you have a student who is in athletics and band right now at the junior high, they may practice when they're in sport, maybe stay 45 minutes after school or before school, and band every once in a while before after school, but not a lot. So as students come to high school, all of your extracurriculars take more time than they do in junior high. It's very common for our band students to report at 7 in the morning. There's one night a week where they come back for 2 or 3 hours in the evening for practice, especially during marching season. Our athletes often report at 7 o'clock in the morning for morning workouts. Some of our kiddos doing more than one sport will work out before school and after school. And so it's not uncommon for a kiddo to have a 10-hour day, sometimes even a 12-hour day if they're involved in a couple of sports. So it's really, really important to manage your time and select those things that are most important to you that you're willing to give your time to. Those kiddos who want to be involved in advanced academics, you need to be looking for a challenge. It is a challenging coursework, and you need to enjoy that as you're learning. Capable of handling a little bit faster paced and more rigorous curriculum, and have good study habits. Procrastination is not your friend when you get to high school, so make sure you really work on those study habits and put in the time that you need to, especially if you're considering any of those advanced courses. We still have STAR tests at the high school, and at the high school they become part of your graduation requirements. We don't call them STAR tests anymore when you get to the high school. We call them EOC tests, or end of course. At the high school, you will have 5 EOC tests that you have to pass in order to graduate. I've listed the areas that they are. There's English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History. Now you'll see on your screen next to the name of the test, I've kind of put in parentheses, that's typically when our students take those EOC tests. Right now, all of them take the same test in 7th grade. They all take the same test in 8th grade. At high school, sometimes some of our kiddos may do classes at different years, and so you will take that EOC test whichever year you enroll in that course because it's tied to a course and not a grade level. But once again, there are 5 EOC tests that you must pass in order to be able to graduate. Next, another basic graduation requirement is completion of the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid, or the TASFA, the Texas Application for State Financial Aid. This is tied to financial aid. This happens senior year. These applications open up October 1st of your senior year. And we will walk you through that process during that college transitions class that you will be enrolled in when you are a senior. And like I said, we'll help walk you through that process, but that is a new, with the House Bill 3 and the 86 legislation, that is a new graduation requirement for our kiddos. Now we get to the good stuff, the nitty-gritty, your actual, what do you have to graduate at Robinson High School? The form you see on the screen right now is available on the counselor's website. So after this presentation, if you want to go to the Robinson webpage at risdweb.org, go to the high school site, and on there you will find the counselor page. We have a tab for RHS graduation plan information, and all of the forms that we're looking at tonight can be found there for you to look at. And this form can be located there. And this is the checklist I was talking about. Everything in the left-hand column, the long column that is yellow, those are our core requirements we're fixing to talk about, and everything on there must be checked off to graduate. The center column where you see the yellow is tied to the endorsements that we're going to be talking about, which adds 4 additional credits. So in order to graduate, you have to check off all the core graduation requirements in the left-hand column and the endorsement requirements in the center column under the endorsement that you are choosing to graduate under. So this is where it gets fun. Our transcripts and your diploma, your graduation, it's buildable. It's kind of like your resume and gives a really good picture of yourself while you're in high school. Everything is based upon those core requirements and builds up from that. And I know this is a really silly analogy, but it kind of makes sense for people. We liken the graduation requirements and everything required to an ice cream sundae. Everybody has to have an ice cream sundae to graduate from Robinson High School. A sundae consists of ice cream and some syrup on top. So everybody has to have ice cream and syrup as we go through this plan, and then the rest is kind of the extras. So we're going to start with the ice cream. Those are our core requirements that are required to graduate from Robinson High School. That's that left-hand column that was highlighted in yellow I showed you. I made it bigger on this screen just so it's easier for you to see. Everybody has to have 4 English Language Arts credits, 3 math credits, 3 social studies credits, 3 science credits, 1 fine art credit, 2 foreign language credits, 1 PE, half a credit of health, half a credit of speech, 1 credit in college transitions, and 5 elective credits. 1 will be a technology credit that all freshmen are required to take. Now, when you're glancing at these, you're going to see some things that seem a little like, what is a second-year science or a third-year science? Once again, I'm going to direct you to the counselor's webpage. Under the graduation plan information, there is a tab there with advanced course offerings. And on that page, you'll be able to see what exactly is a second year science option. What exactly are my additional math options? And as 8th graders, incoming freshmen, we're going to walk you through that process and describe those to you as we sit down and do your 4-year plan. So now we're adding the syrup to our ice cream sundae, an endorsement. The state of Texas says everybody must pick an endorsement and declare an endorsement upon entering high school. And so we all need syrup. We're all going to pick an endorsement. Endorsements can be changed while you're in high school. We realize you're a freshman and you may change your mind a little bit, but it has to be done with care and sparingly, because as you're going to see, it is a series of courses that must be completed. And so as we look at changing those endorsements, we have to ensure that you have time in high school to complete that full series in that new endorsement that you might be selecting. So basically, an endorsement is a series of related courses that go together to provide more in-depth, more knowledge in a specific area of interest. There's 5 broad areas that we have endorsements in. And I kind of liken these to when you go to college, you get a Bachelor of Science, a Bachelor of Arts, something like that. These are our 5 broad areas. There's Arts and Humanities, Business and Industry, Public Services, Science, Technology, Engineering and Math, and Multidisciplinary Studies. An endorsement adds 4 credits to those 24 core credits we just talked about. So, in addition to that left-hand column, those 24 credits that I said we had to check off, in order to earn your endorsement, you're going to add a 4th math, a 4th science, and 2 additional elective credits in your area of interest. So every student who graduates from Robinson High School will graduate with 28 credits. So here are some of our endorsement options. These are also available on our webpage if you want to print these out at home and start having conversations about them. But I do want to go through them quickly just so you can see. Every time we go to a counselor's meeting, I feel super lucky. For a school our size, we're able to offer a lot of options for our kiddos. I see many schools with other counselors of similar sizes that don't have the opportunity that some of our kiddos have in the variety of options that we're able to offer. So I'm always really excited to share these with people, the things that we're able to offer our kiddos. Under that broad area of arts and humanities, now across the top you'll see year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. That's just kind of a guideline. Sometimes if kiddos change endorsements, that may not necessarily be your first year or your second year, but that is the order that some of these courses need to go in. What's most important is you have to have the first course first and the last course last when we get there. And that makes a little bit more sense when we get to business and industry, and I'll explain as we go along. Under Arts and Humanities, we have Social Studies for those kiddos who really are interested in history. That just includes 5 Social Studies credits, which is above the 3 that are required to graduate. So we would have World Geography, World History, U.S. History, and Psychology, Sociology, and Government and Economics. Under Arts and Humanities, kiddos can also get an endorsement by completing 4 years of Spanish, or they can get an endorsement in the area of fine arts, which is 4 years in any one particular fine art, or you can do 2 and 2. So maybe I have a kiddo that does 2 years of band and then 2 years of choir. That can complete a fine arts endorsement. So all of our kiddos who like band, choir, theater arts, art, and dance have an opportunity to earn an endorsement in that area. Next, we have our business and industry endorsements. This is our largest category of endorsements and probably what is most traditionally considered, career and technology paths. So there's a couple of designations on the bottom of this. You'll notice a few of the courses have 1 star by it. 3 of our endorsements end up at TSTC with some dual credit courses. I'm sorry about that. And that means kiddos are going to go out to TSTC on their campus to complete that endorsement. So if you have any courses here that you're interested in and you see a star by it, that means that it is going to be off campus junior or senior year. If you see 2 stars next to a class, those are classes that take up 2 hours within a student's schedule. So as we're doing that 4-year plan, we want to be sure and make room for both hours of those 2-hour classes. So some of the broad areas that we have business and industry endorsements is animal science. If you're interested in veterinary medicine, being a vet tech, anything like that, that is a great area for you. We also have applied agricultural engineering, which most of us know as welding. So for those of you who are interested in welding, that would be a great sequence of courses for you. We have architectural design, which is one of our new endorsements that does end up with some coursework at TSTC, an opportunity for some civil engineering engineering, some interior design, some architectural design courses at TSTC. We also have added a business management endorsement that we're excited about. So those students will start out with that business information management technology class their freshman year, and build upon with some business classes each year of the 4 years, and finish up with statistics and business decision making, which is a new math class that we're being able to offer, a business math. Next, we have Carpentry. For those of you who love woodshop, love working with your hands, this is an awesome opportunity for you to complete some of those courses. Design and multimedia arts. This is another one of our options that end up with some coursework at TSTC. Some graphic design classes out there, junior and senior year. Digital communications, for those of you who are interested in doing something like this Facebook Live session. This gives you an opportunity to learn about arts and audio video production, and those are classes on our campus as well. HVAC and sheet metal. For those of you who might be interested in heating and cooling systems and everything that entails with that, we do have an option for that starts out with some of our carpentry classes, but that moves into TSTC into their HVAC heating and cooling coursework there. Public services, these are our helping areas for those kiddos who like to be helpers. We have a teaching and training endorsement for those who are interested in working with children in any shape, form, or fashion, especially in the area of teaching, wanting to become a teacher. The final course in this sequence actually allows kiddos to go onto different campuses within the district and kind of have a student teaching experience, to actually work with children and get some real experience in that area to see if it is something that they really enjoy and want to pursue. Family and community services, this is a pretty broad spectrum. This is all the helping, the social work type things. And it looks like my slide might have cut off just a little bit on this one, and I apologize for that. That family and community services, that year 4 option is not on my slide, but it is a counseling and mental health class. So this is an area that really lends itself to social work, community services within the community, those areas, counseling, psychology, that type of stuff. If you go to our webpage, you will see the updated version of this where you can definitely see that year 4, and I'm so sorry that got cut off on the screen. Also under public services is a healthcare option. For those of you who are interested in any aspect of the healthcare, they explore all different careers, and that is so important right now during this time of COVID. We see that, but anytime that is a growing area of need, they explore all different gamuts of those career options. And we start out with the principles of health science class, a medical terminology class, an anatomy class, and then that year 4 option you don't see for that class is actually a health science theory class, which is a 2-hour class where they get some hands-on practice, and they also have the opportunity to earn a certification. Several of these options students can earn certifications in, and if you have any questions about those, definitely let us know. Science, technology, engineering, and math. These are our math and science kiddos who really want to focus on those areas, and that's a strong area of interest for them. The difference between mathematics option 1 and mathematics option 2 is when you start algebra 1. For those students who are currently taking Algebra 1 in 8th grade, that Mathematics Option 1 is a great endorsement option, because that just means that you're going to take Geometry your freshman year, Algebra 2 your sophomore year, and then two advanced math courses. 1 your junior year, 1 your senior year. The reason I personally think that's a great option is I would never encourage anybody to go a year without a math while you're in high school, just because you want to keep those skills fresh before you do go to college. And only 4 maths are required traditionally, but if you're getting that STEM endorsement in math, you would need that last year option. Science is that endorsement there. You have your 4 math credits, but you're going to end up with 5 science credits. So you would double up on your advanced science credits your senior year. Some kiddos, depending on their schedule, are able to double up their junior year. Okay, we're adding the sprinkles to our sundae. This is not a requirement. Everybody has to have a sundae. Everybody has to have the ice cream. Everybody has to have the syrup. So you have to have those core requirements and that endorsement. So the sprinkles are just a lovely addition. However, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to work toward that distinguished component on graduation. And this is why. In order to graduate distinguished, you have to complete an endorsement. Well, everybody has to declare an endorsement sequence, and that is our goal, so that should be easy. And successfully complete Algebra 2 is the second requirement for earning a distinguished designation. As long as you do those two things, you will graduate recognized distinguished. This is where that becomes so important. In the state of Texas, if you graduate in the top 10% of your graduating class, you get automatic admissions to any public university in the state of Texas. So not a private school, but any public school in the state of Texas, with the exception of the University of Texas, which it changes every year, but it stays at about 6.5%, the top of the class that you need to be in there. But you get automatic admissions, which is really nice because you don't have to stress out quite so much about test scores and those type of things. But you must be a distinguished graduate in order to be recognized in the top 10% of your class. Another huge benefit of living in McLennan County, McLennan Community College has a McLennan Scholars Program, and the McLennan Scholars are all McLennan County graduates that graduate in the top 10% of their class. If you graduate in the top 10% of your class, you earn 2 years free tuition at McLennan Community College. And so that is a huge advantage and a great opportunity for our kiddos graduating here in McLennan County. But you have to be distinguished, finish that endorsement, check off that Algebra 2 in order to be considered for those things. And finally, the cherries on top of our ice cream sundae. Once again, these are not required, but these are the things that make your transcript stand out as you go to apply to colleges, as you're applying for scholarships. These are the things that show that you have gone above and beyond while you've been in high school. There are 5 different areas in which a student can earn a performance acknowledgement. The first one is in dual credit. Starting your junior year, you have the opportunity to take some dual credit coursework. If you take 12 hours, which would be 4 classes on our campus, and earn A's and B's in all of those classes, you can earn a performance acknowledgement in the area of dual credit. Second, in bilingualism and biliteracy. If you complete 4 years of English with a grades of 80 or higher in all of your classes, and 3 years of Spanish with 80 or higher in all of your classes, you can earn a performance acknowledgement in bilingualism and biliteracy. Number 3, the third way to earn a performance acknowledgement is on an advanced placement test. We offer 4 different advanced placement classes currently at Robinson High School. Those courses accumulate at the end of the year in the AP exam, where students have a possibility to earn some college credits. Those are scored 0 through 5, and if a student scores 3 or higher, they can earn a performance acknowledgement based on their advanced placement test. Number 4, for earning a nationally or internationally recognized business or industry certification or license. And I don't have it written down, so I'm kind of going off the cuff here, but our kiddos have an opportunity their freshman year to earn a certification in either as a Microsoft Office specialist or a certification in Adobe through their Principles of Audio Video Technology class. We have an opportunity for an OSHA 30 certification through our Carpentry classes. There is an opportunity for a welding certification through our welding classes, the medical assistant certification through the health science classes. So there's several different options, and I'm sorry if I've left off any, where kiddos have the opportunity to earn those national certifications, which gives you a little bit of a leg up if you go to hunt a job when you get out of high school. Even if it's a part-time job, you already have a little bit of experience and something to pad your resume with there. The 5th way a student can earn a performance acknowledgement is based on test scores. So starting your sophomore year, you have the opportunity to take a PSAT. And if you score high enough your junior year when you take that PSAT to be a commended scholar or higher in any of their areas, that can earn you a performance acknowledgement based on that test. On the SAT, you need a total score of 1310, and on the ACT, a composite score of 28 would earn you a performance acknowledgement. Whew, take a breath for a second. That's a lot. But that talks about the basic requirements for graduation. So as a parent, as an 8th grader, what do you need to do next? And so really start talking about your future goals. What do you want to do? Those conversations can't happen too often. So really talk about what it is that your student wants to do. Explore all those opportunities. There's a lot of online options out there just for career exploration inventories. There's a big future website through the College Board where kiddos can take some of those that are great interest inventories for students. Review our endorsement options and academic course selections. As I said, all of that is available on the counselor's web page on the high school website, and talk about the different options and what your student might be most interested in. And then finally, you're going to need to attend a scheduling night to complete your students' 4-year personal graduation plan, their 4-year plan while they're in high school. And that is mandatory and required by the state that we do this. So this is what we do during that meeting, and these are examples, and I just kind of put this out here so y'all can reference it and look at it. But this is a copy of one of our 4-year plans, and this is Susie Hughes. She is working toward an endorsement, a business and industry endorsement, and it looks like specifically in the area of, and I'm looking, animal science it looks like is what she is doing, and I'm looking closer to see, yes, animal science. So in order to complete that animal science endorsement, you'll see freshman year, she's enrolled in Principles of Agriculture. Sophomore year, small animal and equine science. Junior year, she's doing livestock production. And then senior year, she's doing advanced animal science, which also doubles as her science credit that senior year. But you can see as we go through here, you can pick and choose your strengths and weaknesses, and that's so important, especially when you're looking at honors courses and advanced courses. It's not all or nothing at the high school. For instance, Susie Q, English is not her strength, but she's really strong in math and biology. So you can see that she's made honors choices and advanced choices in math and science, but in English, she's taken her regular grade level English class, and that is perfectly fine at the high school. Like I said, really think about your strengths and weaknesses as you go through. Now, everybody has to pick one endorsement when they come to high school, but you can pick more. I actually had a student about 3 years ago that graduated with 4 endorsements. Now that took some really careful planning and a lot of luck, but we were able to do it. So just so you can see what that looks like, I provided Billy Bob Browning's 4-year plan for you to look at, and he's actually working toward 3 endorsements. We have one in business and industry, which he is working toward that new business endorsement, arts and humanities because he loves band, and then public services because he wants to be a nurse, and he's completing that healthcare, that health science endorsement. So with a lot of planning, he is a student who band can count as your PE credit. If you're in band for 2 years, you get 1 PE credit, 1 fine arts credit. So he took advantage of that to stay in band all years across the board. So this is why we do a 4-year plan. So those kiddos who are interested in several things have an opportunity to explore those. That's the really great thing about endorsements. Before your kiddos go to college, before they select a major, hopefully we have an endorsement that kind of suits what they're interested in and they can see if they even like it. I had a student one year who was determined she really wanted to be a nurse. That's all she had ever wanted to do. And so she had some of these experiences and some hands-on experience and came in and was like, yeah, I need to change that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why? You know, that's what you've always wanted to do. She said, I realized I don't really like to touch people. Point in case. For free, without having to pay money for tuition or anything else, she had that experience in high school to be able to figure out what she thought she was really interested in, she wasn't. And that's really the purpose of a lot of these endorsement sequences for our kiddos. So, we will be scheduling, if you are an 8th grader and an 8th grade parent, you should have received some information from Mrs. Mink at the junior high. She provided this information and the link for you to sign up for your meeting with your student. Parents and students are both required at these meetings. Just so you know, we're going to have them at the junior high library. Parents may enter the back door, kind of by the parking lot, by the gym. And social distancing measures will be in place. We want to ensure that y'all are safe. We want to ensure that we are safe. Everyone is safe, but also we feel like this is a really important part of transitioning to high school. And it's important enough that we want to be able to meet with y'all face to face and talk through these choices for your students and look forward to meeting you and your students. So you will see we are going to start this process on Tuesday, February the 2nd. Once again, parents and students have to be in attendance. We have several time slots that you can choose from. We will fill out that FourYear plan while you are there. Remember, if you choose not to come to one of these meetings, your student will not be prepared to come to high school. They will not have any courses in place. So that's why it is so important to make sure you do this so they are prepared to come across the street to us at the high school. Here is the link. I know you've received an email with this information, but this is the link where you can go to schedule your appointment online. If that link does not work for you, feel free to call Ms. Hymes in the counselor's office at the junior high. Her phone number is listed 662-3843, and she can be found at extension 445. So, that is all I have at the moment. It looks like we've had several questions. Many of them have been answered at this point, but I am going to kind of review them real quick so we're all on the same page. Says, my student is in algebra and didn't take the 8th grade STAR test. Will she never take that and just take the EOC? That is correct. For our students who are in algebra currently as 8th graders, they will take that Algebra 1 EOC this year. Just a little loophole with the state, they are required to take an ACT or an SAT when they get to high school to complete that math component of their testing during the 4 years that they're enrolled in high school. So we will definitely have them do that while they are with us on campus. Do they have to take a foreign language? Yes. The state does require 2 years of a foreign language. All of our freshmen, there are a few exceptions. We do have some wiggle room in these four-year plans. So I would say the majority of our freshmen start Spanish 1 as a freshman and will take Spanish 2 as a sophomore. If Spanish 2 is just really, really difficult for your kiddo sometimes, and this is per the state, based on teacher recommendation. If a teacher feels like a kiddo's not going to be successful in Spanish 2 in the grammar, we could possibly take world geography instead, but that is a committee decision that we will discuss at the end of freshman year. At this time, what foreign languages are offered is our next question. At this time, we only are able to offer Spanish at the high school. In years past, we had a few more options, but living in the state of Texas, it's hard to find some of those other language teachers around us. So we do offer Spanish at this time. So is the next question, is the multidisciplinary endorsement a combination of any other options, or are there specific classes to take? The multidisciplinary endorsement is one that I personally kind of use as a safety net for kiddos. That goes back to the traditional 4x4 curriculum that if any of you had students that graduated prior to 2015, that was their graduation plan, which includes 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 4 years of science, and 4 years of social studies. So in order to complete that multidisciplinary endorsement, students would need to take a world geography class in addition to the required world history, U.S. history, and government economics classes while they're in high school. And they must take an English 4 as opposed to a college prep English or something like that. And it looks like at this time, that's all the questions that we have. If any more come up, we will be updating, I believe, that frequently asked questions page. You can always email me. Right now, this time of year, we're starting scheduling and it's super busy. So email is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Once again, it's Tamara McNew, and it's TMCNEW. And I have the same email ending that Mrs. Hymes does on the screen that you're looking at. So it's at robinson.k12.tx.us. Feel free to email me with any questions that you have prior to, or we will all be available to answer those questions during our 4-year scheduling meeting when we're doing that 4-year plan for your student. So at this time, Ms. Dietzman is back. I think we may have some closing comments and gift card winners and fun stuff.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. McNew. Great information for sure. We do encourage you guys to spend some time talking with your kids about it, and we encourage you to do that each year, not just the year heading into high school, but there will be some opportunities actually next Monday if you are one of those parents who is pushing for advanced classes, or if your student is wanting to do those. We encourage you to come to our next Facebook Live event next Monday, same time, same place, and we will dive a little bit further into the differences between honors, AP, and dual credit. Other than that, please reach out with questions. We will post the FAQ tomorrow, and as things surface, please definitely reach out. Thank you to lots of parents for showing up. We did use a random picker to choose these. So first prize, $25 to Logan's, goes to Miss Corey Ellison. Second prize, $25 to Chili's, to Miss Kelsey Snyder. Third, $25 to Cracker Barrel, to Mr. Noah Harrison. Fourth, $10 to Sonic, to Mr. Michael Ruggieri. And fifth, $10 to Wendy's, to Mr. Colin Barbarigos. And we will offer more door prizes next Monday.